So we all know Google tracks. If you have an Android phone, Google tracks you wherever you go. They track what you're searching for. Of course, how else do they give you these creepy search results, right? And so this article here is going to explain what you can do to mitigate most of the tracking. This is from cnet.com. Google always knows your location. Turn off these settings to stop it. Your location and data history might be stored when using any Google app, but turning off location services and deleting your local history can help. If you are using any Google app, it's likely you're being tracked. Indeed, even if you turn off location history on your Google account, you're not completely in the clear yet. So this setting of location history, I don't know if it's on by default, but if it is on, you can basically track wherever you go every day and how long you're there. It's both interesting and creepy. If you have it on for years, you can see where you went on vacation. You can see how many times you visited your favorite coffee shop or whatever. It is interesting for a stat nerd, but it's also a little bit creepy. Also, the government could say, "Hey, he's under investigation for, whatever, bogus or not. It could be completely legitimate or not, and hand us over that data. That may help or hurt you. You may have an alibi in there, or you may be implicated in something." So there's also the government aspect of this, but that's what the location data. That's what you turn that off. That's what that aspect of this is. This says even if you turn off location history on your Google account, you're not completely in the clear yet. While disabling that setting sounds like a one and done solution, some Google apps are still storing your location data. Just opening the Google Maps app or using Google search on any platform logs your approximate location with a timestamp. Following a 2018 investigation by the Associated Press, however, Google has made it easier to control what location and other data is saved and what is deleted with features like Your Data in Maps and Search, which give you quick access to your location controls. You just have to know where to look. This is good that they're adding settings and controls for these, as long as it's being respected on the back end. That's great. And people being aware of it is just as important, which is why I've chosen this as the topic for today. Following, let's see. Yeah, okay, so turning off location history only removes where you've been from Google Maps timeline feature, which is what I was discussing earlier, which logs your location with certain data at specific time. Google's support page on the matter says that even when turned off, quote, some location data may continue to be saved in other settings, like your web and app activity. Google told us that it uses this data to make features more personalized and helpful, and that this information is never shared with third parties or adversaries. Oh, excuse me, advertisers. See, I'm thinking of the government. I have read that as adversaries. But if you still aren't comfortable with that, with a few more steps, you can generally, see, they don't even want to say completely. You can generally stop Google from knowing where you are 24/7. And to go back again to this location tracking in the Maps app and being able to see your timeline where you are. Have you ever looked on your phone, store? You ever looked up a store or a restaurant? You can see a nifty. It's kind of well, I don't know how you would describe it, but it indicates to you how busy they are at any given time of day. And so you may say, "Oh, I want to go to this restaurant," but you could see at these hours you may not want to go, or they'll be slow. So that is interesting, but that's how they get that data, because they know where you are and everyone else. So in this article they have, and I'll link this, you can go check it out. There's instructions on how to turn off the this app tracking, which will turn off Google tracking in other apps and searches, not just when you use Maps. So this is very useful. So let's get back to this. Just note that turning off this default setting does have some drawbacks. While Google settings may seem intrusive to some, They also help cultivate an ultra-personalized online experience, such as helping people find nearby businesses instead of in another city or seeing personalized ads. They help give users more relevant information instead of random information, according to Google. If some people may like that, they may say, well, you may say, well, it's worth it to me. I don't have anything to hide. If they give me better search results or better suggestions, then it's worth it to you. So just know you're going to lose some of that if you decide to go with the privacy route. What does this stop Google from storing? Turning off this setting prevents Google from storing location markers associated with specific actions and stops the storing information collected from searches or other activity. Turning it off keeps your approximate location private and other places you go, like your home address. Note that to use certain features effectively, like the Maps app, Google will still need to access your location. Obviously, how are you going to navigate otherwise? However, completing the steps above prevents it from storing any of your future activity. When Google timestamps your activity within a general area, it is within a span of more than 1 square mile, with typically more than 1,000 users, to protect personal privacy. Google's help page on the matter says this helps them to detect unusual activity, such as a sign-in from another city, while maintaining personal privacy. That seems like generally a nice middle-of-the-road option there. However, you can grant Google permissions to use your precise location, your exact location, like specific address, for the best and accurate specific search results for where you are. Pros and cons of turning off Google tracking. Turning off tracking means you'll see less relevant ads, less helpful search recommendations, and overall get a less personalized experience using the search engine and its apps and services. If you're not using Google Search, then it doesn't matter. A lot of people don't use Google Search. I know it's very popular, but lots of people use DuckDuckGo or something more privacy centered. For those who enjoy personalized ads, and who enjoys ads, okay, let's be honest, turning off tracking will prevent Google from predicting what you might care about, which is the creepy thing that happens. However, for those who prioritize privacy over everything, turning this setting off may be worth the loss of specificity, which to me it is, but make your own decision. The bottom line, you can maintain your privacy and lose the personalized internet experience, or continue to see relevant ads and search suggestions instead of more random, unfiltered information. And that's the crux of this right there. You have to weigh the pros and cons. Will I lose any saved data if I turn off this Google setting? No, you won't. It's still there. On a browser, go. This is the instructions to delete in your location history. So, just turning this off won't. It will. Your previously saved data will remain untouched if you turn all this off, but it gives you directions on how to go delete your old data. If you think, wow, I didn't know this was happening this whole time, you can go in and delete all your history from this. So, good instructions for that. There are some good links down here to other articles. For more, check out how to see if Google is tracking you, automatically delete your Google history, which is cool, how much data Google collects, and how to hide where you're going from Maps. There's an incognito mode you can use for Google Maps, which seems a little strange, but if you read into it, it could be helpful in certain situations. So I recommend following these links and reading these other articles about information related to this. So if you're concerned about your location privacy and use a lot of Google services and an Android phone especially, this will be helpful to you. So thank you for watching.